another video. Today I am going to be reading through some trivia about the show Rick and Morty. So with that, sit back, relax, and let's get started. During the early stages of production, Bryan Cranston auditioned for the role of Jerry. When characters are confused or dumbfounded, their lips droop down their faces. This is an homage to the Ren and Stimpy show, in which Ren would do the same thing. On May 10th, 2018, Adult Swim renewed Rick and Morty for an additional 70 episodes. If the show continues in the format it built for seasons 2 and 3, 70 episodes would most likely mean 7 more seasons. This would bring the show's total season count to 10. Anytime a fake commercial appears, they are single audio takes of Justin Roiland improvising as he stutters and laughs throughout them. The clock in Rick's garage lab always shows 2 o'clock, except season 1, episode 3, where it shows 3 p.m. In an episode where Rick and Morty are playing Minecraft, they have to stop and go on an adventure. Morty asks, "What about Minecraft?" with Rick responding, "South Park did it 4 years ago." Morty follows by saying, "Wow, they're fast." And Rick replies, "Yeah, or we're slow." This is a reference to the fact that episodes of South Park are made during the week before they air, and episodes of Rick and Morty aren't aired until the entire season is complete. On the shelf in Rick's garage workshop, there's a box labeled time travel stuff. Still, Justin Roiland has stated in panels that the show is not going to utilize time travel as a plot device. Multiple dimensions and space travel, yes, but no time travel. Rick's catchphrase, "Wubba Lubba Dub Dub," was accidentally conceived by series creator Justin Roiland, who also voices Rick. While doing a recording, a scene was described in the script where Rick would be spinning around on the floor and yelling "wub, wub, 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 wub," like Curly from the Three Stooges. Roiland, who is dyslexic, misinterpreted the line and blurted out "Wubba Lubba Dub Dub." The makers liked it so much that it stuck with them. They later decided that it means, "I am in great pain. Please help me." Justin Roiland said in an interview that Chris Parnell, who plays Jerry Smith, nails his lines on his first takes. Due to normal voice recording precautions of animation, Parnell has to record at least 30 more takes. Even so, Roiland said that he almost always chooses Parnell's first takes. Sarah Chalk, the voice of Beth, can burp on command. Justin Roiland has been jealous of this because he plays Rick, a character that needs to constantly burp. The show's theme song is a parody of Doctor Who and Farscape. Dan Harmon created this show along with Justin Roiland during the time he was fired from his previous show, Community. Bird Person is based on Hawk from Buck Rogers in the 25th century. In regards to scenes shown during the different opening sequences for each season, only about half of the scenes showed are featured in episodes during that specific season. The only constant of the opening sequence is Rick ditching Morty through a porthole to escape attacking aliens, and Rick, Morty, and Summer escaping an alien in pursuit of Rick's car. The title characters of the show are based on the main characters from Justin Roiland's animated short, The Real Animated Adventures of Doc and Marty. Morty is generally accepted as being based on Marty from Back to the Future. In Close Rick Encounters of the Rick Kind, one Rick has a Morty who looks like Eric Stoltz's character in the movie Mask. Eric Stoltz was originally cast as Marty in Back to the Future. Oddly enough, this was not the first time Tom Kenny had voiced an evil being. Rick only has drool coming out of his mouth when he's been drinking. On April 1st, 2018, Adult Swim aired a surprise Rick and Morty short called The Bushworld Adventures that has a much different take on the characters. The short was written and produced by YouTuber Michael Cusack. The vehicle driven by Jerry is the Wagon Queen family truckster from National Lampoon's Vacation. Chevy Chase, the star of National Lampoon's Vacation, played a main role in the first 4 seasons of co-creator Dan Harmon's previous show, Community. David Cross, as the leader of a group of aliens uncomfortable with nudity in the show, seems to have something in common with his character Tobias Funke in Arrested Development. The main universe in the show's storyline, C-137, might be a reference to Cesium-137, a byproduct of nuclear fission and the most problematic environmental hazard after nuclear reactor accidents. In at least one episode, Rick uses cesium against a powerful enemy. In Season 2, Episode 1, the fourth dimensional beings are a reference to the creatures from the Langoliers, a made-for-TV miniseries based on a Stephen King novel of the same name, in which the characters get caught outside of time and encounter bizarre creatures that devour reality after time has moved on. Unacceptable and The Thing have both made it into the show. Both are lines from the Adventure Time character, the Earl of Lemongrab, also voiced by Justin Roiland. Alex Hirsch, the creator of the animation series Gravity Falls, made a guest appearance on this show in the second season episode Big Trouble in Little Sanchez. He voiced a character called Toby Matthews. Unlike most animated shows, Rick and Morty seasons aren't done simultaneously. Instead, the seasons are announced after they're finished, and each season is usually separated by 2 years. Other animated shows post-2010 tend to separate seasons by a few months. In the episode Big Trouble in Little Sanchez, the drawing Tiny Rick draws that says, "Help me," has a drawing of Doc from the Real Adventures of Doc and Marty above the writing. Mr. Goldenfold's tragic epiphany music is Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. Guest stars have included 4 Oscar winners: Susan Sarandon, Jordan Peele, Jim Rash, and Taika Waititi, and 3 Oscar nominees: Paul Giamatti, Kathleen Turner, and Werner Herzog. In the pilot episode, when Rick and Morty are in line at the intergalactic customs, in front of them is a Ferengi from the Star Trek universe. Morty's voice is very reminiscent of Michael J. Fox's when he was younger, and especially in Back to the Future. Rick and Morty was based on an original cartoon where Rick was Doc and Morty was Marty. There was an exhibit similar to Anatomy Park at London's Millennium Dome when it first opened. The picture of sunflowers in the Smith house is a parody of Vase with 15 Sunflowers by Vincent van Gogh. The Citadel only appears in the odd-numbered seasons of the series. Along with a rough version of Morty's caricature, a rough version of both Rick and Morty's voices can be heard in the second to last episode of Mr. Sprinkles. Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland used the pseudonyms John Dreams and Larry Dune, respectively, for the 2-minute 8th episode show. It was described by critics as heavy-handed. The picture of a running horse with a horseman in the Smith house is a parody of The Horse in Motion by Edward Muybridge. Community stars Allison Brie, Joel McHale, Jillian Jacobs, Jim Rash, and John Oliver all lend their voice talents to former Community showrunner Dan Harmon. Keith David was also in Community before its demise. The picture of the umbrella in the Smith house is a parody of Hegel's Holiday by Renee Magritte. Chris Parnell, who voices Jerry, and Sarah Chalk, who voices Beth, previously voiced characters in the animated special Prep and Landing, Naughty vs. Nice. Maurice LaMarche voiced Snowball's accountant. It is suggested that this show takes place in the same universe or multiverse as Gravity Falls, another popular cartoon, as items seen falling in a portal in the latter appear falling out in the former. Similarly, there can be seen Mabel and Dipper Mortys and an old man McGucket Rick. In Season 2, Episode 3, at about 18 minutes and 44 seconds, the show that Unity created for Rick is revealed to be an alien version of Community, a show which Dan Harmon created along with being the co-creator of Rick and Morty, with all the characters from that show making an appearance in this show. Jeff, Annie, Shirley, Pierce, Troy, Abed, and Britta. Rick's requests from Unity to cancel it, then put it back on, then cancel it again, is also a reference for the ups and downs that the show had seen. The viral outbreak that caused Cronenberg's outbreak in Season 1, Episode 6, titled Rick Potion Number 9, is a reference to Canadian director David Cronenberg. The decision to use his name is likely due to the fact that Cronenberg is one of the originators of the body horror genre, a style of filmmaking which explores people's fears of bodily transformation and infection. It is suggested that the shows The Simpsons, Rick and Morty, Futurama, King of the Hill, American Dad, and Family Guy are all set in the same animation universe, as there have been many sightings of the Planet Express ship in Rick and Morty. There are also some sightings of the famous beverage Slurm. There was also a couch gag on The Simpsons that featured Rick and Morty killing the Simpsons with them trying to bring them back to life afterwards. The Simpsons also had crossover episodes with Family Guy and Futurama, with the Hill family from King of the Hill appearing for a football game. But Mike Judge was the only one to voice his character from the show. Family Guy has also done crossover jokes with every show, along with the joke sequence where Stewie and Brian were Rick and Morty's rivals after Stewie stole from Rick in the Multiverse. In the episode Vindicators 3, The Return of World Ender, the countdown to Rick's first Saw challenge ends on 42 seconds. 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything in Douglas Adams' cult classic book, A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Since Snowball, also known as Snuffles, was the villain in the second episode of the first season, he hasn't been seen since. In following episodes, a framed picture of him can be seen hanging on the wall of the dining room of the Smith home. He later appears as a memory of Rick in season 4. Okay, so I am going to end there. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful night.